Today we're going to be interviewing a Dogecoin kid, Lisa from Up Worldwide. And today we have the beautiful Miss from Crypto here tonight with us. Today we have Kenn Bosak.
Foundation, Rarible, OpenSea, and Charged Particles.
Speaking from a Gen Z's perspective.
So why do these people buy this
collection? I work with an artist out of...
Wait till you see my other outfits. Hey everyone, City Girl here to welcome you to this week's episode of Yummy NFTs. This week we have a good friend of ours and a previous guest returning to the stage to talk to us about his new NFT ventures. Please join me in throwing up some hearts to welcome Kenn Bosak. Thank you for coming on, Kenn. So before we jump into your exciting projects, I'd like to mention a couple of newsworthy items. On a groundbreaking note, Houston Texans have become the first NFL team to accept Bitcoin as currency for ticket purchases. That is amazing, and I'm sure this is going to jump on pretty quick, and everyone else is going to be following suit. Also in the news is a new NFT marketplace called SudoSwap that has NFT creators and owners at conflict. One of the key benefits of NFTs for artists is royalties. Traceability allows the originator to receive royalties going forward as the NFT is resold. SudoSwap does not honor that, though, so now companies and individuals that are NFT based are losing future revenue. Owners have found a slick, creative way to increase their income on resales. It can have a negative impact on the future of NFTs and Web3 as a whole. NFT mogul Beeple has stated that it's virtually impossible to enforce royalties, and it's up to creators to attract investor and collector base that wants to honor the royalties. It's like when a family member or a friend gifts you a car or charges you $1 to avoid sales tax. If an owner gifts an NFT and randomly collects some ETH from a recipient after the fact, the royalties are reverted. So it all comes down to morals, ethics, and standards. Hopefully, the community at large will be at a higher end of those traits. So, enough about that. Let's get down to business and hear what Kenn is going to share with us. Kenn, by the way, is a Bitcoin guru and active member of the NFT community. As I previously mentioned, Kenn has been on the show before almost a year ago, prior to me joining the team. So why don't you give us a brief background of how you became involved in crypto and NFTs, Kenn?
Hey, thanks for the warm introduction. How goes it, everybody? I'm Kenn Bosak, and I got into the space in 2016. I was trying to invest. It was like my first time going down that road, and I did some research, tried to look at something cool like Snapchat. I saw they were about to do an IPO, and I saved up some cash, tried to get into their IPO, found out, you have to be accredited in order to be an investor, and I watched it go from like $2 to $20, and I was kind of butthurt. So I took all that money I was going to use on Snapchat, and I kind of played around with Bitcoin and the Ethereum IC because there was no KYC. So I got into this space kind of because of all the hardships and barriers to entry that there are in the legacy industries when it comes to, just what you do with your extra cash. Got into the NFT side of things as soon as CryptoKitties came out. I was, breeding my cats. Nothing like rub two non-fungible tokens together to get another non-fungible token out of it. It was like magic with magic internet money. So it was just like kind of for me, just like a gamified, finance, seeing CryptoKitties. And then I got more into the art side of things, and how NFTs are sort of like the next artifacts. Archaeologists 1,000 years from now won't be digging things out of the sand as much as they'll be digging things out of the blockchain, and going back and looking at certain blocks and what was in those blocks, and just seeing like, NFTs 1,000 years from now, archaeologists are going to be digging up some of my bro NFTs, and they'll be artifacts, virtual artifacts.
So let's talk a little bit about Masters of Bitcoin collection, which launched earlier this year. Where are our He-Man fans in here? Because this is an exciting NFT collection that's actually a spoof on that 80s cartoon series. So with lots of interesting characters, including yourself. But tell us the inspiration behind this collection and that's been so many years in the making.
So yeah, this is shout out to Mike Smart, my bro behind the project. It is, I guess like their elevator spiel is, it's a new generation based on like, heroes and villains in the crypto space. So sort of like crypto characters and personalities kind of turn into collectible action figures. The best part is they're like physical, like when we were at Shitcoin here in Miami, and Mike came out with the Masters of the Bitcoin physical collections that you can get. I just thought that was really cool because there's only been maybe one or two different times I've seen physical collections that go with the NFTs like this. So for me, this is something, I think people could relate to when it comes to like, you when you buy something, you have that tangible thing. And then usually the non-tangible thing is like the receipt, PayPal or whatever, Venmo if you use your phone to tap and pay. Well, in this case, like the receipt or whatever is like the proof of ownership is an NFT, which is in its own right, its own thing, its own toy. So they kind of made it like so much more, I think, relatable when it comes to on ramping into the NFT space. It's like, oh yeah, get this action figure, get this NFT, comes with the options to open the packages and physical action figures to go with it are cool. I haven't seen my physical action figure. I don't think they had one for Shitcoin, but I've seen the ones they have, and they're really well done, 3D printed. So it's not like the cheap Power Rangers toys we used to get from like Toys R Us. They're really like high quality. So I just think that it's a cool on ramp vehicle to get people that are used to having something they can touch for the money they spent, but also now giving them an NFT, something that they can't touch, along with that toy, that physical. So yeah, they're doing some cool things, and I'm waiting to see what they do with the time that we have now, because these the characters that we have now have only been in a decade in the making. We're starting to get like TikTokers and normal people really too into this space that are becoming characters in their own right now. So to see what kind of personalities are personified in the game as this space grows, is like this is just like relevant to us now. Imagine in 10 years, like what kind of characters are going to be in the Masters of the Bitcoin.
So, speaking of the characters, so there's a limited amount of characters to be made, and discuss a little bit of the utility of collecting the, this is how they actually become a character. You have to collect 30 of the NFTs in order to become to lead to an actual figurine. Is this correct?
Yes, I actually don't know the number. I think that sounds right. I haven't gone through the hoops myself, but yeah, you actually have to like play the NFT game in order to like, it's sort of like that prize that you win, which is cool too. Again, it's like things people are used to in a way. You know, not so much when it comes to like these new things, but like people are used to going to like three different stores to see if they have like the new iPhone in stock, right? So like going to the marketplace and maybe grabbing two or three different things and kind of jumping around makes it cool. Like people kind of feel cooler for waiting in line at the store to get something. You're like, oh yeah, I waited in line 10 hours to get the new Ray-Ban smart glasses. I collected all 30 of these NFTs to get this, physical memorabilia. I think it just adds that sort of that visceral nostalgic thing that NFTs have been lacking since Crypto Kitties.
Interesting. And then I also heard that within the NFTs, they're putting in Easter eggs for people who actually purchase them. So for anybody who isn't familiar with that, an Easter egg is something that's like a hidden surprise or a secret or a gift that's embedded. Sometimes it's in a video game. You hear people talk about they're playing a game, stumbled across an Easter egg. It's just a little something that extra that they throw in. So there's going to be in the artwork NFTs. I read that there was actually going to be some Easter eggs hidden in there to surprise the owners as well. Now, you use
Yeah,
the
even
Wax
I don't know
blockchain
the
for your
Easter eggs.
NFTs.
They didn't even give me a cheat code for the Easter eggs, so they're very it's pretty well hidden. Again, like that's another thing. People are kind of used to that vibe of things, right? Like people like mini games within their thing. I feel
Absolutely.
like this is again they're doing some very like traditional like Hasbro marketing levels things, but using like a nuanced twist with it because they're NFTs. So it's they've done a fairly good job of like polishing the direction they're going. And it's so early for the project though, so like I'm just interested in seeing like what it turns into. But what they have in front of them is it's pretty good. Like I like what they did. It has all that nostalgic energy, not just in the artwork, but just in the actual like collection itself.
Definitely something that will get people interested. I mean, you're right. People do like the little smaller games that are within, like, especially even when you go to a casino and you're playing on the slot machines, you see everybody lining up for the ones that have the little sub games that are up on top.
Yep.
If you hit a certain score, it pulls you up to the additional games. I mean, those are things that people really get sucked into. Um, so you use a Wax blockchain for your NFTs, and did you switch over to Wax because of gas prices? I mean, what was your reasoning for using them?
Actually, well, I kind of always been a Wax fanboy since they changed their company name over. They used to be OP Skins or Op Skins for those back in the day that used to play games like CS:GO. You could trade like your in-game skins, like your swords or guns or knives or helmets, stuff like that for like centralized, non-blockchain, not NFT, just in-game items. And then NFTs came about and they kind of evolved into Wax, but with their history of what they've already been doing, which is exactly what Wax is doing now, just utilizing NFTs. I kind of was always on Wax. So I even have simple asset NFTs that I've minted and made. And, there's no marketplaces anymore that support them. They were so kind of, I guess, up in the air as experimental. I dabbled with the Ethereum NFTs as well, but from using Wax from the immediate jump street, even when Ethereum had low gas fees, it was still too much. Like I felt spoiled playing with Wax whenever I did anything on Ethereum because it was even if it was like $1 gas fee, I'm like, well, that's still too much. Like, so when it got to $10 or $100 when Ethereum gets kind of clogged up, it was just super unappealing. I did mint a few things on Rarible, but I kind of like burned everything that I had that I never like that was unsold. I kind of I spent the gas fee and I burnt everything that was unsold. Kind of in a stance against those platforms because I mean, I'm not an artist, at the most you can consider me like an influencer or something, but like they had me same day verified, whitelisted. Like I got the red carpet treatment when it came to Rarible. So I personally shouldn't have been too upset. But what upset me was watching all the artists that I do admire in the space having such a hard time and a difficult time kind of getting verified themselves on the same platform I was already whitelisted and verified on. It made me feel some type of way. So when I saw platforms like that, more so like how Rarible went with Taco Bell. You know what I mean? I was like, oh, this isn't really for the artist. And I still see Ethereum like that. Ethereum is more corporate and company run enterprise collections. Even if you're not like Bored Ape or CryptoPunks, in order to be a successful project on that blockchain, you kind of have to corporatize yourself. I think independent artists, these up and coming artists who may eventually, appeal to get to that corporate level one day, really only have a good chance of starting if you do it on something like Wax. Ethereum isn't really there for the average everyday artist. Even at today's gas fees, it's still not a manageable, business model for artists. But Wax has always been and will continue to be one of the most affordable options for an average artist to get involved in NFTs.
Well, we have up on the walls over here, we have a few of the pictures of the Masters of Bitcoin. We have a replica of your actual action figure up here on the wall.
Yeah, that's a
And we
carrot,
also
Mom. I'm
show,
eating a carrot.
pretty sure that's not a carrot. Um, if we look down toward the back, though, we see that they've actually, your NFT is being used on wearables as well. And I did see on the website there's a whole clothing line, there's shoes, there's all types of items with this on there.
Yeah, the Masters of the Bitcoin swag is awesome. I love the shoes. That's probably my personal favorite.
So Let's talk a little bit about some of your other NFT stuff that you've done as well. So we also should have up on the walls here. We've got Brokemon and we have the Kenny doll. Like, can you tell us a little bit about some of your other NFT projects that you've worked on?
Yeah, Broken On was going to be more elaborate, but unfortunately, kind of just came down to 4 NFTs that people could blend together to get like a group image. It was limited to the amount of people that participated, so it was pretty scarce. Those action figures next to them, the Kenny dolls, they're pretty cool. My buddy out there at the digital asset, Sebastian, and the artist Wampa Stampa behind that, basically made these 3D interactive kind of augmented reality action figures. So those NFTs are like $1. And for $1, you get an NFT that you could actually take a selfie with, or you could put that on your computer desk in augmented reality and take a picture of this NFT sitting on your keyboard, which is a lot more than $69 million can get you with a Beeple NFT. So there's like a lot of cool like gamification to it where you can actually play with it, and there's accessories for the Kenny doll. So you can buy a hat, you can buy flip flops, and then you can blend them into that NFT. And the NFT of the Kenny doll and the accessories kind of merge into one NFT. And then you'll see that action figure actually wearing the accessories that you added to it in augmented reality in real time. So you can kind of play with these NFTs, and they're only $1. Then we did the Kenn token, which was a token we launched to packs. You can see the Kenn Bosak NFT blocks pack art. And with that token, people were able to buy these NFTs of mine on Wax at a discount if they were to, go to the exchange, pick up some of the tokens. Then they could come back to the store and use those tokens at a discounted rate as opposed to using Wax, the native currency. So it was a way to incentivize liquidity in the market. Like, hey, you can get these NFTs, 20% off, 50% off. Just go to the exchange, swap Wax for the Kenn token, and then people in my community that accepted the token at a discounted rate as well. They farther, add value to that as a community token. If you wanted to accept, Visa, MasterCard, American Express, well, you could also accept the gift certificates that the stores also. So you could use your Toys R Us gift certificate since there is no Toys R Us, and you can now use that in my store. It's kind of like being able to play with multiple community currencies. And then I guess to sort of wrap things up, I don't really see it here, but I have the bubblegum machine, and it's a $100 NFT. I think over 600 of them already sold. There's only about 400 left. They were limited to 1,000. And almost every day I'm airdropping an NFT made by an artist. Right now it's Wampa Stompa that has given me some art. I'm airdropping art to people that hold a bubblegum NFT on an almost daily basis, getting something. So yeah, I try to play with the Wax space with the airdrops because it doesn't cost much. For about $1, I could probably airdrop a couple thousand NFTs to people. So it doesn't hurt much to do like those subscription based loot box kind of airdropping things. So yeah, if you're looking to get an NFT, on an almost daily basis, because there are some days where I space out, forget, or I just may not have something from the artist yet. But try to give out as much NFTs as I can throughout the year to people who hold that NFT because it's doable. But on Ethereum and other blockchains, it would just be ineffective. It would cost too much to even do something like that. But because I can afford it, it's so affordable. It's like, why not just airdrop to people all the time?
Sharing with others is it's a great way to spread, your brand around and also get other people involved in it by, making it more accessible to them.
Right. And I've even had projects reach out to me and they're like, hey, we need to get the word out about whatever. If it's like a campaign they're doing or if they're trying to announce, I could reach people by airdropping like promotional art as well. So if you're, trying to do something or promote or whatever, it could be done as an NFT, an airdrop. So it's been a pretty cool, different way to kind of monetize it as well. So if you're an artist yourself, maybe consider doing like a subscription based model for your community and then reach out to people, projects, and say, hey, like, I have a community, subscribers. I give them my art, and maybe you'll be able to find a way to monetize it on a secondary side where you're making money for making money, getting paid to kind of promote other artists in your bracket. Maybe there's an artist that wants to get their subscription out there. They could hire you to airdrop information to your subscribers that they're also available as, subscription based artists. So it's a really cool way to collaborate, as well as you know when projects reach out to me to promote something, I'm like, yeah, what can you give me to airdrop to my members, kind of thing. It's an easy direct connection to the people that support you.
Well, you've definitely capitalized on utility throughout different uses of your NFTs. So, I mean, all of this knowledge that you have, all of this experience that you have, and now you're actually in NFT, the movie that is coming out. Tell us about that. That's exciting.
Yeah, there's going to be a few. I think they're kind of doing, like a mini series of documentaries. So yeah, being in the NFT the movie is going to be really cool. I got to see them in Miami. They came out for Shitcoin and the Bitcoin conference both years in a row. They've traveled the world, and I've got to run into them in a few different places around the world, which is awesome. I'm really looking forward to seeing the final edit, and I don't know. I want to see how they go about the launch of it. I've been advising and talking to them, trying to put a mosquito in their ear about sort of like a metaverse launch watch party, something like this, where we're all hanging out in alt space and the movie's on the big screen behind us. We could all kind of hang out on the beanbag chairs here and watch it in a small group, and something like that. But yeah, dude, I've been honored to be in that. I think it's probably going to go down in history as one of, like, the bigger NFT medias. So 10 years, 20 years, 100 years from now, maybe reference material. That's sort of how I think. I think like 100 years into the future or more when it comes to a lot of things like this. And yeah, just like I like to think that maybe there's going to be a student in a high school classroom somewhere. They'll be teaching them about NFTs, and they're going to have a movie day. And not only are they going to be stoked that they get to watch a movie, don't have to do too much work, but I'm going to be in that movie they're watching in a high school classroom to learn about NFTs. That that's just awesome. And
That
shout
is
out to Jeff
amazing.
Crane and everybody, because yeah, they're doing something that's not going to be as impactful during our lifetimes. Like, a lot of this documentation of this space will be more impactful 100 years from now, when a lot of us, all of us, are long and gone. So just shout out to NFT the movie for putting in all that work that will be appreciated well after, much more appreciated well after we're not here to be praised for it.
And when should we expect for this to be out and viewable for everyone?
I don't know. They keep kicking the can around about that with me, so I haven't heard like a finalized release date. That's why I'm trying to see if I can get them to do sort of like a pre-final edit, watch party kind of thing, because even I haven't seen much of it.
Keeping us all in suspense. So tell us, other than all of this work that you've done creating NFTs and, sharing them and, all of the business opportunities that are involved in them, do you yourself have a collection of NFTs that are not, not Ken related, but ones that you've collected from other people?
Yeah, so honestly, one of my favorite collections that I have outside of my own is Splinterlands. Used to be called Steam Monsters. It was sort of like Magic the Gathering, Pokemon, or if you're really into trading card games, maybe Hearthstone is a better analogy or something to relate it to. But yeah, I collected those cards because I was really big into Pokemon as a kid, and when they came out as a game, it was very familiar in gameplay and style. So I wasn't really looking at it as an investment. Like, when I buy toys at the toy store, I never thought about my return on that outside of like how much fun I'd have. It turned out to be an accidental, investment, because I think it's still worth about $50,000, and I know I didn't spend damn near $1,000 on that game. So I've just been playing it for years, collecting the cards and doing the challenges by competing and playing, and it blew me away to see how much value came from just having fun. So that's my biggest, like, outside of my own holding. I hold probably like one of the bigger collections of the Splinterlands trading card game cards. It's a free to play game. You can play it. You don't have to pay. You can get it on your mobile device or on your computer. I think for like $10 you can get like a starter kit of NFTs, and then from there you can play daily, win rewards and challenges, and then you can play in a competitive mode and actually win money. They've given up almost $1 million just in prize money in the past 2 years. So in 2 years, they've given away like $1 million to people that are just playing the game. So right now,
That's
I'm actually
crazy.
leasing my NFTs. I don't even play anymore. I'm leasing. So all those cards I have, I'm renting them out to people on a daily basis. So every day I'm getting paid because people are playing with my cards when they're playing the game. So I mean, there's just so many different ways that this collection became valuable. But it really started with just enjoying it, having fun with it, and not really thinking about like the return on investment outside of having fun. And I try to tell that to people: if you're having fun with the collection, who cares what it's worth or what it will be worth? And maybe you'll get lucky, maybe you won't. Some kids that I grew up with were really into Yu-Gi-Oh, and some kids were really into Pokemon. And some of those kids, were happier than others that kept all their, trading cards all these years. You're not gonna get a Lambo for a Yu-Gi-Oh card, but for a Charizard, you might be able to get a Lambo. It wasn't the fact that we played with them because we thought we were gonna get rich. We just played with them because we liked them.
That is something that we've definitely talked about here on the show in previous episodes is, you're purchasing NFTs, part of it is thinking about the investment, but part of it is enjoying what it is that you purchased. So whether it's artwork or games, like, you should buy it because it's something you want to be doing, and there's always an opportunity to capitalize and make some money off of it, but there's also the opportunity to lose money off of it, so you should just be doing it because it is something that you want to be doing.
Yep.
So do you have any other projects coming up in the near future with your NFTs? Do you have anything new coming out on the line, even though you've already have so much out there?
Right now, I'm kind of taking a breather, trying to see where I want to take things. I tried early, like really early this year, or yeah, probably even late last year, getting involved with like music based NFTs and stuff like that. But the industry kind of jumped into this space and is taken in a different direction. So I'm kind of just like waiting to see what should be done next. I kind of like the concept of well, I don't know, because Minecraft now has this whole thing with anti NFTs, but before then I was looking at how people were incorporating NFTs and Minecraft and the skins, the outfits people could wear. You could easily design an outfit for an avatar in Minecraft, list it for like $1 or whatever, right, as an NFT, and then somebody can buy that and then rock that outfit in Minecraft. Now, it's kind of been a little bit against their terms of service, but I think the next direction may be something in fashion, something in wearables, in-game skins, something like that. So I was really hoping I could do that with the Minecraft skins. It's something I was looking into until they banned it. Um, the only other thing I can think that got me just as interested, and it may not be for this demographic, but adult-based NFTs. It's taken a while for the adult entertainment industry to really experiment in this space and see how they could farther their monetization on the content that's provided. And I just think that that's going to be a cool direction, a fork in the road to see taken, and where that goes is, maybe I'm gonna take a look into that, the adult entertainment side of things and NFTs there.
Well, I think that that's actually an avenue that generates a lot of money in real life, in virtual reality, pretty much everywhere. So you could monetize on that, I'm sure, for sure.
Yeah, but the utility,
So,
right? I'm trying to think of the interesting side of how to provide utility with that. Not to go too far down that rabbit hole, but sort of like how Patreon has those tiers, right? So
mhm.
utility and NFTs and adult content could be like a private show for an hour or something. I just think I'm thinking along like the utility side of things, and the Patreon plug-in kind of subscription-based, um, where the product is the person is the product, and how the interaction with the customer is the service. I think utility would be a really good way to go, and especially with like the way laws have been loosening up about it, as they have with cannabis. There's places in this country where things are legal, and I think that could be an interesting experiment for a larger embracement of this, because I don't think we're going to see that industry as demonized as it is for as long as it will be. Considering you could look at the war on drugs and where we're at now with legal cannabis. It's not just legal; it's recreational, and it's also medical. And I think that the adult entertainment side of things, as the nation, as the world matures, but America is a baby nation, and it's very young in its maturity. As I think the first world countries kind of mature, we're going to see that taboo turn into something just as mainstream as you see your local dispensary selling doobies. Nobody saw that coming. I think I can see where we're going. If you ever seen the movie Idiocracy, we're all going to Starbucks. My bros
Well, that is absolutely a possibility that I can see coming very near in the future. You could always say that adult entertainment. You could always have that as mental health therapy too. So you could see it going down that direction. So I'm going to open up the floor. If anybody has any questions, we'll put up the raise hand button. I'd like to ask everyone to rate the event, and also if you look over here on the side wall, DM us on our Instagram. We can send you our EFT POAP tomorrow. And Kenn, I want to thank you for coming on the show. And let's open up the floor so people can ask you some questions directly.
All right, let's do it.
Question from DJ Vad. Go ahead, DJ.
Hey, Ken, this is really awesome. And just one comment about what you just said about the utility of this whole NFT and what we're seeing and how it's being developed. I'm really really waiting for that, and I just absolutely enjoyed when you were talking about it. The question I have, first one is about copyright. Like you created these NFTs, like the Pokemon. Like,
Yeah.
what's the story about the copyright? How is Pokemon hasn't come to you and say, "Hey, knock knock, what you
Yeah, I
doing?"
don't believe in copyright as a. I just don't believe in it. So I don't live in a world where I acknowledge it. If it becomes a
Okay.
problem, it'll become a problem. But until then, it's sort of like the boogeyman. You know what I mean? I mean, like people can sell a painting of Mickey Mouse blowing, Winnie the Pooh for $1 million. I don't think I have anything to worry about, but you're right. It could be a problem. And I think the problem is in that alone. It's not a problem, but it could be a problem. And then we self
Hmm.
regulate, we stifle our self innovation because of the potential recourse of what may be a problem. I don't think it's a problem. I named it Brokemon, and
Hmm.
it's an obvious parody, sort of like how Weird Al Yankovic can make fun of Michael Jackson's Thriller and get around like some of those things. It's a joke. People, it doesn't replace the original, but I'm also with that in the sense that I kind of want Pokemon to come at me and be like, "Yo, you need to stop," because Fox News and CNN would be talking about me the same day. So
Oh,
it would help
publicity.
more than it would.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would help way more than it would ever hurt. And if you look at my collection, I'm literally asking for it. I don't think I've ever sold a piece of art that didn't have some kind of other IP inspiration in it with my
Hmm.
likeness on top of it.
It was pretty creative, and I love your strategy. That's for sure. That's really
Thank you.
really good. Yeah, and my second question is a little bit more about the utility and all that stuff. And I'm very new. I come here every week to learn about these stuff. And yeah, City Girl and Blockchain Universe, just amazing. They're doing fantastic. I have learned so much. So thank you guys. Really appreciate your hard work. Question I have for you, Ken, is okay. I don't know if you've been in alt space long enough, but we buy, for example, outfits and stuff from some of the creators like Ryu and all that. So everybody has their own. My question is, how can we add these outfits to blockchain so it becomes really NFT? Or is it even
That
possible?
would It's possible, but I believe that would come down to AltSpace opening up an API of some sort that developers of those outfits could use to communicate with a wallet API. So when you
Hmm.
log into AltSpace, it may say, "Hey, connect your wallet." And once you connect your wallet to AltSpace, then from there it will display those assets inside the game itself.
Okay.
Or the developers of these skins could say, "Hey, reach out to me personally outside of AltSpace, and if you're rocking one of the assets that I made in AltSpace, I'll send you that as an NFT just from me." And now you'll have like a piece of art from
Hmm.
that artist outside of the environment, which is sort of like a receipt or a proof of ownership, or sort of like how like a fan
Hmm.
memorabilia from the original creator though, so it may not have to be as so much in-house related. Maybe Altspace never acknowledges this, but the artist could always say like, "Hey, you like my in-game like skins, you like my Altspace swag, well hit me up, or hey, go check out the same stuff, but you can actually own it. You could get the mint number 69 if that's your favorite number, or you can get mint number 1 if you're a mint number 1 collector and you really like that outfit." Or you can look at it as a way of saying like a super chat on YouTube. If you like the stuff I do on AltSpace, you can send me a
Hmm.
dollar, but instead of going to Patreon, go to my NFT store and just buy an NFT for a dollar. And that is like, so there's so many different ways for this to be more artist to art collector, or customer or whatever, right? And really
Right.
play around with that middle ground. It's all up to the imagination now. We have all these different tools, and
Hmm.
some looks at a hammer and all they think about is like hit something, until you realize you turn the hammer around and you can pull the nail out with the other end. You're like, "Oh, I could do so many different things with this tool than I thought of." Like, there's so many different things people can do with this technology. They just haven't thought about turning it around.
Right, right. No, that's really good. The second option is like definitely really amazing. And at the beginning, these as you call it, skins or outfits, and they were just outfits. But now some of them are becoming really very artistic, and it's just so much detail to it, and it's just so beautiful. It's like time to think about,
Oh yeah.
making them NFTs, and yeah, absolutely.
Wait for unofficial utility. If you think you're excited about the idea of official utility,
Mhm.
unofficial utility is going to be a game changer. Because me personally, I don't have to have anything to do with Nike at all. They don't
Mhm.
have to partner with me, but I can do something with Nike and they can't stop me. If you have these Nike shoes in your wallet, I'm going to find that collection. I'm going to find all the addresses, and then I'm going to airdrop something to those people because I like Nike so much. I want to do so. You can partner, or you can provide utility to anything you want, and nobody can really stop you. If you're a small pizza store and you want to tell somebody, if you own a Board Ape Yacht Club NFT, you get 10% off. Your pizza. Nobody can stop you. You can now add utility as a small pizza shop to a collection like Board Ape Yacht Club, and it kind of counteracts it. It provides you utility and value as well because you're providing it value. So it becomes very symbiotic. There's not much reason to be parasitic in this environment, but there's so many incentives to be symbiosis and contribute, because the more you contribute to
Mhm.
something, the more it contributes back to you. So I think we're going to see unofficial utility blowing up. Like these, like Logan Paul influencer type thing. Gatorade could airdrop a Gatorade NFT to everybody who has a Logan Paul NFT just because he made his own Prime energy drink. They could easily advertise to all of his fans by airdropping right into their wallet directly. Unofficial utility.
Shouldn't it be spamming though?
Not, I mean, that's up to the receivers at that point, but I don't know if you'd consider it spam. Maybe so how
Oh, it's NFT, so yeah.
Right. So how I counteract the concept of spam when I airdrop advertisement promotional material is you can back it with assets. So you could airdrop an NFT that has $1 right behind it. So now you're basically paying somebody $1 to see your advertisement or to see
Oh,
your
okay.
spam.
That's spam
So
spam. Yes,
spam
you're
isn't as
right.
annoying as, so spam in the future isn't as annoying
Garbage
as the
completely.
spam of
Yeah.
the past. We're going to get
Yes.
paid to consume content like advertisements in our wallets, because I believe they'll be backing them, if not with their own Nike token for their Nike NFT ad, they'll probably be using Ethereum or something like Wax to just back that advertisement with. And maybe they'll be
Mm.
thinking, we'll give you $1, you're probably going to spend $10 with us.
Right, right. So you give and take, really. Not exactly
It's
Right.
spamming.
reciprocal
Yeah.
marketing.
Yes. Exactly.
That's
Cool.
the
Thank
thing
you
with
so
the
much.
symbiosis. Right, you're welcome.
Hmm.
Do we have any other questions? Well, I'd like to thank you for coming on tonight, Ken. We appreciate you coming on and explaining about all your different projects. Looking forward to seeing you in the NFT movie coming out. And definitely, for people who are interested in knowing more about Masters of Bitcoin, you can see it on OpenSea and you can check it out if you go online and you look up mastersofbitcoin.com. There's also on Instagram, you can check it out. And you can also follow Ken directly on Instagram, and he does a lot of stuff with Bitcoin and crypto, so you can learn a lot from him on that aspect as well. Is there anything else you'd like to
Appreciate it.
add?
Yeah. Just if you want to hop into Telegram, I do some NFT giveaways in there sometimes. A really cool thing called CoinKit. CoinKit is just a really cool tool to give away coins and NFTs and stuff. So if you ever wanted to just jump into Telegram, say hi, there's a good chance you'll just grab an NFT for free. I go live around noon to 1 throughout the week whenever I have guests scheduled. So, just keep an eye out for my live streams on Twitter. You can use the hashtag not another Bitcoin podcast, and you can see my podcast. I think that hashtag will get you back to like 2017. I've been doing that podcast since 2016, not another Bitcoin podcast. So it's something cool to check out if you want to watch like a video of Charlie Lee like a week before he sold his Litecoin. I was that guy. Got some cool old school interviews and stuff to check out. And if you're an artist and you want to do some stuff, and I kind of am a curator. I sell art for artists through my collection. Obviously, I do keep the commissions on the secondary, but I do like to use the metadata in the NFTs to promote the artist. So if you have your own store, if you have a Fiverr account or anything, all that information can be given to people inside the NFT that we sell together. So it's sort of like a flyer. So if you're an artist in the space and you want to get your NFTs out there, and maybe hit me up for a collaboration or reach out to other people. Collaborate, collaborate, collaborate. That's what I hope you do more of.
That is the one thing that this brings together is the community between collaboration projects and just spreading everybody's different artwork, different utilities, different projects there, and getting as many people worldwide involved as possible.
Yeah, man, it's easier to rise the tide of all the ships when all the ships are tethered together.
That's a great analogy. Okay, so we want to thank all of you for coming here this week to check out our show, and we hope you return back next Tuesday. And if we could get everybody to come up on the stage, we'll take a group shot together before we head out. And thank you again, Ken, for coming on and sharing all of this with us.